Hello and welcome back to the NextPlay podcast, a gaming and pop culture podcast brought to you by the team at NextPlay. I'm your host, Jamie, and joining me today is Brad,
Hello.
Berto,
Hello.
and special guest, Ben.
Back by popular demand.
Yeah, baby. On today's show, we'll be discussing what games we think deserve sequels and what's going on with Bioshock 4. But first, a message from Brad.
Hello, it's Brad here. Did you know 9 out of 10 dentists recommend supporting NextPlay? Here's how. If you're watching on YouTube, press the subscribe button right there. Seriously, it's right there. And if you're listening on an audio streaming service, make sure to give us a 5-star review. And you can check out all of our content at next-play.com.au or via our socials at nextplayau, just about everywhere. Thanks for the support, and let's get back into the show.
All right, thanks, Brad. That was great. Anyways, so now I'm going to be talking about what I've been gaming over the last week. I mentioned it last week. I started RoboCop Rogue City. Now, I did a quick little Instagram post about this. I think this is a perfect representation of like a 7.5 out of 10. It's like it had so much potential, but when it's bad, and when it's great, it's great. So the gameplay is super fun. You're playing as RoboCop, you're just blowing people to shit into just blood mist everywhere. So much fun. The shooting gameplay is fantastic, but I had so many sound issues and like visual glitches. It just feels like that B type game. Like at one point, the audio itself was slowing down and they all sounded like robotic. So much so they didn't finish their dialogue before it would cut to the next person. So someone would just be like, and then the next person would just start talking. And so I had to throw on subtitles so I could actually understand what the hell was going on. But like I said, it is worth playing. It is on Plus. If you like the gameplay of just a fun first-person shooter playing as RoboCop, it's great fun. Just don't expect it to be that great.
It's been out for like a year now. I thought they would fix like issues like that.
I would like issues like this fixed. There's some fun ones, like the video I post on Instagram. You could just grab people, and I threw him through a door, and he just got stuck there, sort of spasming out, and that was great. But
They're the best kind of bugs.
Sort of, yeah, it's like the Skyrim classic Elder Scrolls type bugs where it's like fun. But like I said, when it comes to like the technical issues, I had multiple crashes as well. That's where it just sort of dips. So it's a shame that they still haven't ironed it out. Like I believe they released either an expansion or like a standalone expansion only a few weeks ago for it. I'm not gonna go play that unless that ever comes to Plus. But is fun. Just don't expect anything more than say sort of a B level and expect some glitches.
Was it
the other thing? I think it's about like the 12-15 hours. It doesn't overstay its welcome. So like the areas you visit, you don't stay there too long. And there's like this one little hub area that you visit like multiple times. But yeah, I don't think it overstays its welcome, which I think to its benefit is what it does there. The other one I did start and I have finished one of the endings. I think I've still got like 4 more to do, is New Tales from the Borderlands. I love the original Tales from the Borderlands. It probably is my favorite Borderlands game, and probably one of my favorite Telltale games. Generally one of the most funniest games I've ever played. New Tales from the Borderlands is super cringy, not in a good way, a lot of the time. When it's funny, it's really good. There are times where I've genuinely laughed out loud, but I would say most of the time it just doesn't hit, and they will really overplay a joke over and over, waiting to be like that awkward, it's going on so long it's funny. But they do it so often that I'm just like, can I just move on? I'm over it now, and I just want to keep going. So I think the other thing that's a little bit painful with doing all the different endings, because the ending itself drags a lot with some of the jokes and like these funny setups, but you can't skip any dialogue. To my knowledge, on some of the Telltale games, you could at least either speed things up or skip through some scenes if you wanted. So you just have to keep replaying it over and over. So I'm following some dialogue choices to get the different endings at the moment because I'm only a few trophies away from it. It's fine. It's nothing like the first game. Like I said, I just feel that whilst the genre itself is still the same, it's a point and click adventure type thing, as you would expect from a Telltale like game, but just doesn't have that same characters, like that same heart that the original have. It just sort of like they've tried to make it similar to that, but in the end they've just made a bunch of characters that are just really unlikable, but not unlikable in like say Seinfeld. Everyone's unlikable in that show, but they're funny and you still care about them. Whereas here, everyone's unlikable, and I'm like, I really don't give a shit what happens to any of you. So hard to recommend it, but I will finish and get the platinum because I'm an idiot. Ben, would you like to start off because you were the special guest, so you can tell us what you have been playing.
Thank you. My week/month has been consisting of Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, the new Souls-like from a Chinese developer, new developer called Lindsay. And they've used Unreal Engine 5, so everything looks great. This is actually a screenshot from it. So it's a mystical tale set in towards the end of the Ming Dynasty in China, and you play Wu Chang, and there's a mysterious plague going around called the Feathering, and it turns everyone mad and psychotic and into grotesque mutant things that you have to beat. And it combines a lot of elements of Souls, like more like original Souls. So there's no like jumping or climbing or anything like in Sekiro or like like Elden Ring. There's no horse or anything. You're just purely on foot. And it has like the looping maps that you'll go around this really weird, strange map, and then you'll somehow find yourself back at the start again. That was really cool. Gameplay wise, there's a fair few weapons you can choose from, but the main difference is the this gameplay element called Skyborn Might. So the feathering, you are actually affected with the feathering as Wu Chang, but you don't go mad like everyone else, and you use this as your power. So you I think you have like 2 points when you start, and like you can cast spells with it, and you can use special attacks with your weapons with it, and do all sorts of stuff. The other thing that was like a lot different to other Souls was the skill tree. So it has a massive skill tree. There's one branch for each weapon, and then a branch for like your main abilities, magic, health potion upgrades, etc. And you level up like general Souls games, beat enemies, you get currency, level up. But you can respec the tree at any point for free. So, if you're beating a boss and you've got using a great axe, right? But you need to be faster. So you can just delete your skill tree for the axe and put all those points back into dual blades. And then you can change your gameplay style, or you can put it more into magic or whatever. So it was really cool. A lot of challenging bosses. It was about 40 hours all up. I still managed to get the bad ending, unfortunately, and I do not have time to go back and play it and try and get you have to interact with all these NPCs at the right time and whatever. But I did beat every boss, including the optional bosses, apart from one. So I'm happy with that. And I enjoyed it. And if you really like Souls likes, I'd probably give it a go. If you're not sure, I think it's on Game Pass. If anyone has Game Pass, so you could check it out. But yeah, if you're not sure, I'd probably wait for a sale. I probably wouldn't jump on it right away. But if you play every Souls like, then definitely give it a go. You can check out my review at qualbet.com.
I will say, I saw some of the gameplay before it released, and this was one of the few Souls like where I was like, oh, it actually seems quite unique and actually appealed to me. Whereas so many of them nowadays just all blend together. We've discussed on the show multiple times. You think this stands apart as a sort of own thing?
I don't know. Like the gameplay elements I described stands apart, but there was a lot of similar enemies, and there's probably about there's 5 main locations, 5 or 6, and you revisit the first one later in the game. So they were cool, but nothing stood out aside from the very last area. that was like, oh wow, this is really cool. Like, I don't want to spoil it because it's like, but it's like Bloodborne level cool, right? Whereas everything is just like you're just going through a forest or through some snowy mountains or, through a village. It's not,
Your standard sort of areas.
yeah, like it was good, but I could
Could have been
see,
great.
yeah, but yeah.
Make sure to go check out Ben's review over on Qualbert. Berto, who you been playing?
Forgive me if I seem a little delayed. Anyway, I've been playing a game that I actually can't talk about yet. I double checked it to see if I can talk about it, and I can't.
You can't.
I can't. But
Got his mic.
yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. I mean, I'm thoroughly, I'm happy with that. So the other thing that I've been playing, obviously, is Lies of P. I think last time I said to you guys, in order for me to get back to where I need to be, I have to, push through the main game. I think it was chapter 4 last week, and now I'm on chapter 9, where I'm officially up to the point where I can now access it. So, yeah, still loving Lies of P. I just love that game. Ben and I both played it originally at the exact same time, and it was a lot of fun. And I know we're talking about overdone Dark Souls genre-ish, and it's true, it is Souls-like games, but this is one of the ones where it's far above all the others, in my opinion. It's original and fun, and just a lot more exciting.
Agreed.
Say,
It's my favorite like non-from software.
It's a lot of fun.
Just looking at like gameplay of it, like you can already tell like the aesthetic is so different to like kind of what FromSoft are known for.
Yeah. It's easy too. Like, or either I'm really good, and I doubt that. So I think I highly recommend it. I'm not, trust me. I'm not. After not playing it for that long, I think, how long has it been now, Ben? Like a year and a half,
2
maybe?
years? Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Nearly 2 years, I think.
Nah, I think Bradley, you should give it a shot.
But they have
changed.
easy
It
mode.
feels
They have
differently.
easy mode now.
Yeah, and I'm going to play that a little bit so I can probably explain it to everyone. But even the base game, it feels easier. I don't know why. It just genuinely does.
Maybe you're just getting good?
No, I'd refuse to believe
Finally.
it just feels easier.
I think it feels smoother. Like, it feels like it should, it reacts the right way. You know what I mean? Like, for example, in Wu Chang, one of my issues with it was like a boss might knock you down and it takes far too long to get back up, and they can stun lock you and just kill you. And I found that happened way too many times. Like, I have not found that in the other Souls likes.
It's very forgiving. Like it gives you plenty of opportunities to fail, but not to the level that Dark Souls does. Like Dark Souls is like, you're already on the ground and it like kicks you even further down. You know what I mean? Like it Donkey Kong smashes you all the way down. Whereas Lies of P's like, here, have this, it'll help you. And it genuinely
I'll help you up.
Completely. Yeah, it helps you out a lot more.
I think I could be wrong. Was Lies of P on Plus or is on Plus?
It's on Plus right now until
there you go.
Until later this week, next week, maybe.
Smart move with the DLC and everything coming out. I think I want to get a physical of that. And when EB had their last sale, they had it for like super cheap, and it sold out almost instantly. And I was like,
I wanted that one too.
I'm not paying for your membership, maybe. But yeah, that got taken away so quickly. But one day I'll get it.
Yeah, I'll get the DLC. I'll add it to my wish list when it's a bit cheaper, because I don't think it's that long.
Bradley, how about yourself?
I'll report back.
I've played a little bit, but so I finished Uncharted 4.
What'd you think?
Well done.
Pretty good. Probably.
Where's it ranked for you?
Probably 1st.
Whoa.
Or
First, nice. Yeah.
probably first, and then Uncharted 2 second, and then I think Uncharted 1. No, Uncharted 3 and then Uncharted 1.
Oh, really?
But
Okay.
like Uncharted 1 still feels like nostalgic. Even though I played them all this year, like it still feels like cute and old. And yeah. Had fun, but by the end of it I was kind of sick of like climbing things. I was just like, I want this to be over. Wrap the
Uncharted 4 is
story
definitely
up,
the longest
please.
one, I think. Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
like the final boss fight?
Yeah, I did actually.
That was
It
cool. I
was
like how they did
yeah,
that.
it was. Yeah, it was pretty good. Like
It was a sword fight, right?
On the
yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
remember that
with
now.
with Uncharted, it's like you don't really know what to expect with like the final boss fights because like it wouldn't just be like shooting. And there's no like weird like giant robot things or anything. It's just like humans you're basically up against. But yeah, I liked the ending. I really enjoyed the epilogue as well. That was cute.
Yeah,
Um
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just like so cool to have like a really good ending in a video game where like almost everyone has a good ending.
Mm.
Um I also jumped into the new season of Apex, which is pretty cool. They changed up ranked. So it feels a bit like the odds aren't as stacked against you with like pro players versing anyone and absolutely demolishing them. So
Is that like two
overall,
separate game modes? You know how
no,
like
but they've
Marvel
like
Rivals?
changed the parameters to where like they're called Apex Predators, like the top players, um, and they're like just matched with Diamond and above
Yep,
rank,
yep.
where like all the silver and gold play against each other. Whereas in last season, like you'd be like silver, and for some reason there'd be an Apex Predator in your game, and you'd be like, "Well, what's the point of me being here then?"
Yeah, I'll just quit now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. That's basically enough of the gaming. I did go see Freakier Friday on the weekend. Really
Okay.
enjoyed that. Um, I watched the original the night before and definitely enjoy this new one better. It it's just weird that Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, like, their chemistry is still there after so many years. It's just so strange. And like Lindsay Lohan, like, I don't think of her as like one of the best actors ever, but like you could tell she was having fun with it. Um,
Mm.
did you see this, Ben?
No, I didn't. Um,
Oh.
yeah, it was like literally one movie I didn't see last week.
I was
Yeah, I
about to
was
say,
gonna
you
say
saw
you were at
every
the
other film on
movies,
the
like,
planet.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
went
that
to
was
3.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
heard.
like every time.
I heard it was good.
Yeah, yeah, no, very good. I highly rate it. If you saw the original back in the day, definitely go and see this in the cinema. It's a barrel of laughs. And otherwise, I did watch a little bit of TV last night. I watched Alien Earth. So did
Yep.
Ben. Um, I enjoyed it.
I'm interested in that.
I feel like it really had a slow start, but it looks like it's going somewhere. I hope it's just not kind of weirdly paced and all that because it
I'm just
felt
What's
not
the
sure
point
about
of
the
it?
characters as well. What's the point?
Money.
Yeah, like
To
why?
make money. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
money.
No. Of course, obviously money, but like, where's it set in the weird
Space.
timeline of aliens?
2 years before the original Alien.
Okay.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Mm.
which I find weird in the story because I don't know. They'll probably like say, "Oh, well, they actually went there because of this," or something like that. So
Mm.
I don't know.
Okay.
They don't care if it sounds weird.
Nah. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm not like
yeah.
on the edge of my seat to see what happens, but like I'm
No.
intrigued enough to see where it's going.
Yeah.
The only thing
and then
I saw about that
Mm.
was they like I saw people on Twitter talking about how that like Ice Age is canon in the Alien
Um,
World, because it had a like
so is
screenshot of
Peter
like
Pan.
Sid. Oh
And
really?
Peter
There we go.
Pan. Yeah.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
don't know
Peter
why they
Pan.
picked such
What are you
older
guys
movies.
talking about Ice Age and Peter Pan? I didn't get it.
They were
So
watching
lost.
it.
They were in the show.
Although I have a bone, I think I told Brad this. I have a bone to pick. They picked Ice Age, right? But they didn't pick the first Ice Age. I didn't even know which. I think it was 3 or 4 or something. I'm like, why
Yeah.
would they pick that one
Like
and not the
12 of them.
original
There's
one?
so many now.
I
Is
know.
there 12?
Really?
Nah, there's
Probably.
not that
I
many.
don't know. There's a lot of them.
I think there's 4.
I thought it
I think
ended.
there's 4 or
Didn't he
5.
catch that acorn? That was the point. And that was it.
That's at the end of the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended at number 1 for me.
Yeah. There you go.
Movies that did not need a sequel.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a segment for our next episode. I also started watching The Pit, and that's on HBO Max, and that's like
Ooh.
Oh.
takes place in a
Mrs. watched that.
hospital.
Yeah.
And each like it's not shot. It's kind of shot in real time, like as in like each 1 hour episode is like an hour of their day, and it goes across like
Oh, I know which
there are
one.
no
That's like
time
24.
jobs.
Yeah, I saw
I
this.
haven't.
It's
I
awesome.
haven't seen.
It's really
24,
well done.
but
You haven't seen 24.
No.
24 is amazing. The first one.
It is.
The first few seasons are good. Then it just like, no.
You know, when I was younger and like the ads would come on and then the timer would count down with the dramatic music, that stressed me out.
Did you like The Pit? It's a good TV show. Hey, it's full on.
So I just finished episode 3 and yeah, I love it. Like
Mm.
it was 3 a.m. when I stopped watching it last night and I was like, I need to go to bed.
I need to check
So
that out.
yeah. Yeah, it's very good. Like I really recommend it. But it is a bit like not body horror, but like there's a bit of realistic gross things
it's awesome.
in it.
That's
But
fun.
yeah.
Probably did it
and
have more than
finally-
Alien?
Yes. Yes, and it's all on camera. Nothing happens off camera. But yeah,
Doesn't
while
either.
I was like watching that, I did start sorting out my Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering cards. I have a lot. I still have more to
Jeez,
sort out.
That looks heavy.
but
That folder looks heavy.
The
It
weapon.
is, but how good
Yeah.
is it?
Does that go
Yeah.
everywhere with you?
Yeah, I took it to work today. But yeah, that is everything. I think I have played something else, but I'll talk about it next week.
All right, before we move on to the next segment, Bradley, are you going to play Lost Legacy now?
Probably later in the year.
It's actually really great. I loved Lost Legacy too.
It's not that long either. It's not a full game.
So like,
No, unless you play
where-
Crushing, then that is the most
where is
hardest
it
Crushing
set?
out of
Like,
all of them.
where in the timeline is Lost Legacy set?
It's set
After 4, but
isn't it?
before the
Yeah.
epilogue.
Okay.
Okay.
And who does
I
the
You
haven't
don't
played
see
it.
Nate. Nate's just off. He's off doing his thing.
Nadine
Okay.
and
Chloe.
what's her name? Chloe. Yeah.
Oh,
It's great.
Nadine.
I
Okay.
really liked it. But yeah, like I said, the Crushing in that, shortest game, but the hardest Crushing, in my opinion. Because I got all the platinums for these bastards, and those Crushing modes. Woo!
I think 2 was still the hardest.
That's the one with Lazarevich at the end, I believe.
Yeah, that
He
boss
was a
fight
bastard because he's
messed
just
up.
throwing grenades out of nowhere. No,
He just
I-
die instantly. It's insane.
Yeah.
I love how you remember the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like the
don't,
game.
don't remember his name.
Weirdos.
I never would have remembered.
I remember the boss fight, not the name.
I remember Mario
'Cause you-
endings. It's always Bowser. That's all I know.
Because in the second boss fight, you basically just keep doing circles. That's the only way to survive Crushing. Otherwise, he will absolutely pulverize you. But speaking of sequels, we are going to be talking about all games that we believe should deserve a sequel. We're probably going to do about 3 each, so we'll just go round the room. I think that's probably the best way. Bradley, since you just finished, why don't you start off again and give us your first one, and we'll work our way around.
Hello, it is Future Brad here, editing the podcast. This is just a friendly warning that there may be some spoilers in the rest of the show, so check the timestamps if you don't want any spoilers for that particular game. Skip to the next one. Now back to the show. Yeah, so this is kind of a combination. I guess I just want something new in the franchise. So, um, you can't see it very well, but it is either Titanfall 3
Mm.
or
Good
like
call.
an Apex 2 or like an Apex like story game, which apparently was in the works, but it got cancelled. But just like Titanfall 3.
Yeah.
So I think everyone I've spoken to loves Titanfall 2.
Fantastic.
It's definitely one of the best games on PS4 or of that era. Um, but I guess people that haven't really jumped into Apex might not know that like that universe has been expanded upon quite a lot within Apex as well. It it has like a few characters from Titanfall 2 in Apex or mentioned as well, and there's a lot of like lore. Apex does lore very well. It like for a online multiplayer battle royale game, it does lore surprisingly well. Um, I wouldn't say I think they've dropped a lot of the like how much lore they've been dumping in the last year or so. Don't know if that's because they're working on something else or but
Running out of ideas.
yeah, yeah. But it's just a world I want to spend more time in outside of a multiplayer game. And even the characters in Apex, like there's some really cool backstories here that could be explored. And relationships as well that can be explored. There's so many tie-ins to Titanfall 2's characters. It is insane. And it's just a disservice to the whole franchise that Titanfall 3 allegedly got dumped. Um, but yeah, it it's just a shame. It a lot of these games like or franchises seem to go to waste sometimes, and I feel this is one of them.
Wasn't there another game that set in the universe that they were making, or am I just
So
thinking of
as
something
far
else?
as I know, it was like heavily rumored that there was gonna be like a like another game with characters from Apex in it, like a story game.
Hmm.
Um, that's what I
That was
heard,
just a
but
rumor. Yeah.
yeah, it was probably I think that was like 2 years ago that that was like floating around, and then last year I think it was last year it was announced that like Titanfall 3 or maybe that was just rumored too that it was dropped as well. So
Yeah.
poor
That happened.
Respawn, just got to keep working on Star Wars games, I guess.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 was I still remember when it released. I think it was literally they placed it in between Battlefield and Call of Duty. It was like
Yeah.
it was like a couple of weeks in between them, and it was just left out to die. It was like they just wanted to ship it out and just move on.
Mm.
Really a shame because yeah, Titanfall 2, super creative, super memorable. I still remember the level where you jump in between different like time periods and stuff like that as you're going through it. Yeah, fantastic game. That's a really good shout, bro. Uh, I am going to go next, so no one can steal mine. I am picking Infamous because, all right, so I love the entire Infamous series. I think it's some of the best superhero games ever. I preferred Cole McGrath over Delson Rowe, but I always felt like, so I'm going to go into spoilers for Infamous 2. The timeline that I think they chose was the good version of the timeline for Second Son. And at the end of 2, they sort of hint that like Cole's still there. There's like a lightning flash, and it sort of like alludes that he's still alive. And then we went into Delson, and I always thought that what they were going to set up was basically, I'm not sure if anyone even knows the Prototype series, where they had like
Yeah.
this guy Alex Mercer came out and he was the hero, but then he ended up being the villain in the second game. I never played, but the first one I did. In this, I was always thought it was leading up to something that basically Spider-Man 2 ended up doing, where you're playing Miles Morales and you're playing Peter Parker and you jump in between them. I thought it would be sort of like mentor-mentee sort of situation where they would team up, Paul and Delson, in whatever good or bad ending they wanted to do, leading into one of them, I don't know, Cole maybe having to put Delson down or vice versa. I thought there was a lot of interesting stuff that they could have done there. Sucker Punch, obviously, you know, they are very busy now with the Ghost series, which has a lot of success. So I don't see it happening anytime soon. But I just find it so, I don't know, it's disappointing that like the Infamous games are just sort of stuck on PS3, aside from Second Son and what was it? I think it was First Light. I think was the standalone expansion, which was also really fun. Whilst I didn't like Delson as much, I love the powers in Second Son. Like one of them was like video and like it was super neon, and it was really creative in terms of powers.
The smoke one, I just remember like turning into smoke and going up chimneys. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, it was so fun, the freedom of movement, and they really emphasized that in even the first two games when you with Cole grinding on the what are they called? Electrical power lines. That's the one. Yeah. But yeah, fantastic series. At the very least, I wish they would do a remastered collection of all those games and just bring them over, because it just, like I said, just stuck sitting there, those first two. And Infamous 2 especially, I think that's probably the better game, but I think the story in the first one was phenomenal. So that with a fresh coat of paint would be absolutely fantastic. And like Spider-Man's shown, like the open world superhero genre is there, and I think it's just as good in these Infamous titles. So I'd love a new game or something, but yeah, unsure if they want to give it to another one of the Sony studios, because it does seem like they're just really busy with the Ghost series, and that makes sense. You know, it's making a lot of money and a lot of hype with Yotai coming out. But yeah, that's definitely where I'd like to see another one, because I absolutely love that series. Ben, let's go with you next.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna put this one down.
I'm glad I stole second. I knew someone was going to have it.
It was on top as well because I thought you'd steal it. All right. I'm gonna go with a little bit of an older one. I disappeared.
Yeah, it did.
Anyway,
You disappeared too.
Was it Jak and Daxter? Was it? I think I saw
Jak and Daxter. We haven't seen
That's a
Jak
point.
and Daxter for a while. They did 3, and then they did a racing one and a sort of sequel, but it wasn't done by.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about
Naughty-
anything past 3.
But yeah, they had the HD collection on 3, and they were all PS2 games. So I definitely feel like that needs a sequel of some kind, maybe some more of like adulty, not quite adult, but more darker themes, you know, because you know the people that played it as kids are grown up now, like me. It'd be pretty cool. See Jak and Daxter again. I'd really love to play a proper sequel to that by Naughty Dog, but of course they're very busy with Intergalactic. So
Oh yeah, that too.
Factions.
I think they were working on another secret game as well. But
They are. Maybe it is Jak 4.
Cross fingers.
No.
That's
It won't be.
Well,
I'm
I
waiting for
agree with that.
Banjo-Kazooie in this round.
Oh, dude. Naughty Dog Banjo-Kazooie.
I agree. I think Jak and Daxter is like one of, I mean, it's one of like those franchises that haven't really come back yet. Like I feel like everything else is coming back and this hasn't.
But even like you see with Ratchet and Clank, like those type of platformers, like you know, they're like the older ones, they're like for kids, right? Or like advertised for kids. Like how well did Rift Apart sell? Like it's amazing.
Yeah, and wouldn't really know what the popularity difference for Jak and Ratchet and Clank are. I feel like they'd be close to each other. Maybe Ratchet might edge it out a bit, but
I think Ratchet has a movie, doesn't he? And a TV show or
It
something
does,
like that?
yes.
It's only
I've watched
because he
that.
has more games.
yeah.
He does?
Yeah, just the Jak and Daxter series has such a like really lovable cast of characters. I'd definitely love to see them return.
Hmm.
I've only played the first one. I played it a few years back for the first time.
Oh,
And
you're missing out.
that
Jak 2
you
is
need
so
Daxter was
to-
good.
annoying as
Jak
hell,
2 is
but yeah, it
amazing.
was super fun.
Jak 2 is so
Yeah.
different from Jak 1. It's like
Yeah, I know.
Jak 2 is
it's like
GTA.
it's like Uncharted.
Hey, I was about to say,
Basically.
I've heard people
Like the
compare it
biggest
to
jump.
GTA, yeah.
Yeah, it
But
is.
also,
Yeah.
So much
also
fun.
the story, like the story
Mm,
blew my mind.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely in the backlog pile, but yeah, I'd love to see it come back because I think I've got some of the physicals from Limited Run for the PS4 releases of those
Oh,
games.
yeah.
So it almost like they were testing the waters, but yeah, nothing eventuated. So it'd be nice to see it come
No.
back. Berto, what old franchise are you going to talk about?
Well, you knew that I was gonna talk about old franchise, so I'm gonna leave that one for last. We'll go to the latest one. So I've chosen Expedition 33. I think that
Oh.
needs a sequel. So, but I called it Expedition 34. So the difference for me is that there is no real big difference. I don't know how it ends. You three have finished it. I'm up to the
I
end
was gonna
part anyway.
say,
But I think from my understanding on how it could possibly end, perhaps it's not in this universe, perhaps it's in another universe, perhaps it's a different story, different characters. But just the core mechanics of the gameplay, the way that it's a mature turn-based RPG, which you don't see at all, really. That is what I want. That's what I think a sequel will evolve even further on that. So it'd be interesting to see whatever they come out with next. Obviously, it's way too early to tell, unless they've said something and I don't know anything.
no.
Yeah.
I don't think we can say
I
anything.
no, but I disagree. I think it works well as a standalone story, and I wouldn't want to see like I want to see another game in that realm, not realm as in that universe, but in an like similar to that, but from
Yeah.
Sandfall Games. A
Correct.
different story, whole different,
Yeah, just
not
same
even in the
gameplay
same
elements.
universe. Yeah, yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, I don't think we can talk too much else about it.
It
If
is
you
what
watch
it
the
is.
documentary that they did on Expedition, they had a lot of different ideas for a story before they ended up choosing this one. So,
So
they're obviously
many.
a super creative studio. So who
Mm,
knows what they'll end up coming out with next? But yeah, I completely agree
mm.
with Berto. You should really finish the game, I reckon,
You need to.
Been
in
kind of
between
busy,
your
bro.
80-hour reviews.
I reckon.
Righty, so we'll just keep going round in that. So if it's your turn, you can just do your thing. So who's next?
Okay, yeah, it's me. My second game is the newest one of my three, and that is Alan Wake 2.
Yes.
AKA, I want Alan Wake 3. Basically, I just want another Alan Wake game.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2
Yes.
blew my mind, and cinematically, aesthetically, artistically, just so well made. It's a shame FBC Firebreak wasn't like that. It was a bit of a flop, but hopefully that just means they'll stop trying to do whatever they were trying to do there and go back to what they're good at, and that is story games. Honestly, Control 2, I haven't played Control, but
Oh,
Very
Brad.
good.
so I don't
I'm
know how
shocked
it
by that.
ends, but like honestly, I'd eat up anything Remedy do apart from a multiplayer game.
Need to play Control.
Play Control, yeah. What are you
It's
doing?
on the list. It's on the list for the
Hurry up.
YouTubes. No. um, but yeah, like, what can I say? Like, it's just, it was my game of the year. Wait, when did it come out? 2 years ago now?
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Damn. Okay, yeah, it was my game of the year back then.
I think they
And
are
yeah.
working on Control 2 at the moment.
Oh
I
no,
believe
they
they
are.
are.
You're right. You're right. So yeah, just Alan Wake 3 then.
I
Give me
mean,
more Alan Wake.
technically, it's not a sequel to Alan Wake 2, so still Alan Wake 3 would be good.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, I just want to see more shenanigans in Alan Wake's world.
I want another dance, another song title where you go through and
Well, like
to catch a
even
song.
if we played as like Saga again, Like, I liked Saga's parts. Obviously, I
Mm.
love Alan Wake more, but
Mm.
yeah.
I preferred Saga's gameplay, I think, but the overall game
Yeah,
was
same.
phenomenal. I was
Yeah.
late to the party. I played it earlier this year for the first time. I played all the DLCs. Did you play the DLCs? Because they have Jesse Fagan in that.
I didn't finish the last one, but I
The
did
last
play.
one's the
Sorry,
best. It's so stupid.
I wait. I played the one with Jesse in it.
Yeah.
Though.
The standalone, the episodic ones are crazy. Especially the one
I
where
did those.
it's
I did
Iceman or whatever
those.
his name is.
I just didn't
Yeah.
do the Lake House DLC.
Lake House was. I preferred
Yeah.
the wacky ones, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, the lake house didn't add that much, unfortunately.
Okay.
Very side story. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm definitely keen. Alan Wake 2 was just like crazy good. That would be awesome. I am going to pick mine now. I'm going to go deep in the well and speak about a game that no one has ever heard of. Does anyone remember a game called Remember Me back on PS3, Xbox 360 era?
I
Yeah.
do.
Ben's nodding his head.
I remember
nice.
the cover.
Hmm.
Yeah, orange and some orange and
White?
black and white. Yep.
Yeah.
Not
So
the not the 2010 film starring Robert Pattinson.
No, it's not. No,
Okay.
I searched on Google for Remember Me, and that
Right,
came up
yep.
first. So,
All
Did
right.
it actually?
yes, my
Oh,
guess
by
is that's
Jeremy
why they
Something
haven't done a
Coco as
sequel.
well. Just so you know.
It is, yeah. I know
Yeah.
most of the words to that too.
All right, back on track.
Sorry, Jamie.
No, it's okay. Remember Me, right? So I reviewed this. This was one of those games where it had such a fleshed out world, and the whole concept of it was basically these companies that could go into people's memories and remix their thoughts to basically get what they want. This sort of society just taking people over and controlling the world from behind the scenes type thing. In terms of the setting, the story, and everything like that, even the main character, it was great. The problem was the combat felt super just it was very bland. They had this system where you could make your own combos, I remember. And it just didn't hit very well. And like speaking of not hitting very well, the sound effects when you actually were fighting just made combat just sound super bland. It didn't hit off to anyone. I think my review I gave it like a 7, right? So it's not something that's crazy up there. But the world itself was fantastic. Like I wanted more in that story, in that world. It sort of reminds me of there was a game I reviewed last year. I think it was Nobody Wants to Die. Like that whole world of just like this cyberpunky type world, but a different idea of how it could come to be. I love this. So this was from Don't Nod of all people back in the day. Now I was doing some research beforehand, and they had actually in 2015 already come up with an idea for a sequel, and basically they were waiting for Bandai Namco to make the decision whether or not it would go ahead. Obviously, the fact that whenever I mention it, a lot of people usually just have never heard of the game, or they go, "Oh, you mean the Robert Pattinson film?" But I felt like it had such a fantastic world, which might be the one I pick in my third entry as well. It's a very similar aesthetic with that one. I would have loved to see it just expanded upon. It just seemed like such a cool idea. It sort of reminded me again of another example, Murdered Soul Suspect. Like the whole concept of you being like a ghost solving detective case. Yeah, it sounds awesome. And then like a couple of months later, the studio closed. So it's like these cool ideas that maybe they just don't have the budget to really nail it. Because I remember in Remember Me, it's very linear. Like it was a lot of set dressing, but you couldn't touch anything. It was just like, yeah, you can look at it, but you can't go in there, can't go over there. And it was
Very
just like, it felt like
era.
yeah, it just felt like a missed opportunity. So if that ever came back, I would be over the moon because I think there's so much that you could do within that world.
Ironically, I remember it for not any of those reasons. It was it was my first like PS Plus game that I played. Like
awesome.
yeah, because it was on PS Plus. I'm like, oh cool, I can get free games, and yeah, I download. And I that was the time where I had very little money and lots of time. Like you guys remember that?
Yes, they do.
And yeah, so I played it, and yeah, I just remember it that it was one of my first free games. But it was good,
I've still
and
got yeah.
I still remember, like vaguely remember it, and what you said, yeah, it was janky as hell, but yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah, it definitely needed smoothing out. I've still got my press kit shirt that I got with that. Where it's got like
Really?
Memorize, which was the company that was in the game.
Yeah.
That's over in my
I
cupboard.
remember the
Unfortunately, I'm
symbol.
too fat
It's
to
like
wear
a-
it, but it is a nice little collector's piece that I have. But I think was it Birdo
My turn?
next, or was it Ben?
No,
No, it was
me.
Ben. There you go.
Ben,
I'm
Old
gonna
age.
go with this one.
the order.
The Order,
The
Oh, you
order.
bastard.
1886.
I never
Who's played
played that. No.
Has any of you played it?
That was going to
but
be my
it's
next
also
pick,
on my
actually.
list.
So
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
yeah,
So when it came out, I don't remember. It was on PS4. I think it was the launch, nearly the launch title for PS4. So about
Yeah.
10 years. About 10
launch
years
window
ago.
ish. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a few months after launch. Anyway, it was advertised as like, huge massive game, like super big story, hectic
Mm.
graphics. I think graphics were one of the
The
main
graphics
Crazy
was the
visuals.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
selling point. And then everyone was like, "Oh, I hate it." And it was like everyone didn't like the length. They didn't like the constrictive gameplay because it was like very linear, like super linear.
Sony game.
Almost even more so. Even more so. And it felt and like people said, it felt more like just cover based shooter type game, and you just follow it through. And so I didn't play it, and I picked this up for like $10 at CX last year or the year before. I think it was the year before, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a go. The platinum's pretty easy. Just finish it and do some kill stuff and get some collectibles. Yeah, it's short. It's about 5 hours, including all the cutscenes. But holy crap, the story and the world building is amazing. It
And the
is set.
weapons too.
Yeah, the weapons are so cool. So it's set in like 1886, obviously. But that era
What?
and that
Spoilers.
era of technology, and you also have like these knights essentially, and they protect the London or the world from werewolves. So basically the gameplay is, you're these knights, like I think Galahad's the main one. I can't remember the other knights, but
No, me neither.
yeah, and you're fighting werewolves, and the story is really interesting. And unfortunately, it ends on kind of a bit of a cliffhanger, and it does feel like there should be another one. And I think, unfortunately, due to the people not expecting, they probably wanted like a 20-hour game, with some open world elements,
I
and
was
you
gonna
get
say, do you think that backlash was because like around that time, like open worlds were like the thing?
Yep.
Yeah. And like these
Absolutely.
days, like people don't want open worlds
Exactly,
that
and
much. It's so
that was
funny.
one of my reasons why bringing it into here, because now, like, you tell me, oh, this is a 5-hour game, I'm like, oh hell yeah, like, I can
Yeah,
finish this
yeah.
in like 2 nights. Yeah, that sounds awesome, and a
Mm.
tighter story. You don't have to go spend your night looking for one thing across a massive map. But it's really underrated, and if you've seen it around, you're like, I don't know, try it. Definitely recommend it. That it's not huge, but
No.
even the gameplay, like even though it is sort of cover-based shooting, it's still really fun. Like there's quite a few weapons you can play with, and some of the fights with the werewolves are really cool. And the graphics, even for
Still holds up.
10 years ago, yeah, it really holds up.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
I played it 2 years ago. So
Yeah, because this was going to be the other one. This was the one I was comparing to Remember Me, where it was like
Mm.
a lot of look at the world, but you can't really touch it. Like it was very linear.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end, Galahad is essentially like Batman. He's like looking down at the city, like ready to just kill some fools. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
this is going to
know,
be so
right?
good.
I know.
And then Ready at Dawn ended up, which was the developer, they got purchased by Oculus. And then a year later, Oculus just closed them down anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Sony's sitting with the IP or anything, because there was sequels
Probably.
planned. I did the research
Yeah.
before because, like I said, this is going to be one of mine where there was going to like potentially be a trilogy in the damn thing. But
Well, that's what I
yeah,
mean. Well,
it's
the
just
story feels like there will be another one.
unfinished.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not. There's no conclusion. It's almost like if they put it to be continued sign, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I feel like if they were given another chance to have a crack at it and like expand on what they were doing and take the feedback on, I think it could have been fantastic. Yeah, a shame how it's just left though.
Yeah. Oh, Beto, your turn.
I'm going for retro again. Not again, actually, but the next two will be retro. Quite predictably. So I think I forget who mentioned it just before. We were talking about how, certain remakes or remasters are like coming back. Mega Man. So we're up to Mega Man 11. Okay, so let's go a bit of a history here. I got it in front of me. So first game's 1987. Last game 2018. Obviously, no one really plays them except for me, so they're just making it for me and 3 other people. But I think given how today's games are with 2D games, in particular platforming games, it's time for a bit of a evolution, I would say. And I think if they actually put a little bit more emphasis on trying to evolve that franchise, it could become a little bit special. Something to like, a Metroidvania style game even, or something completely different just to revamp it.
Like RoboCop.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But no, just like, I love all 2D platformers. So like, Hollow Knight or Ori and those 2 games. And, like, obviously everything has evolved. And you got all these older franchises that just don't seem to quite understand that you can use those old characters and bring them freshly new paint of coat. So similar to like a DK style, right? So, yeah, I think if Capcom play their cards right and they're very good at evolving most of their franchises, they have an opportunity here to do something a little bit different that doesn't really cost that much as well. Because, it's only for 3 people to buy. So, yeah, Mega Man 12.
Did you play the Game Boy sort of spin-offs where you
Which
like
ones?
I can't remember what they were called, but you play as a kid and it was almost like Digimon, right? And like you play as a kid and you're walking around town and you like kind of like jack in and
Yeah.
Mega Man.
Oh, that's
Battle
based
Network.
off that animated
Yeah, Battle
cartoon,
Network.
wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
I think so. They were really fun.
That's very popular too. And, with me and the 2 other people that, buy these games.
Yeah.
All 3 is just always rave
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
We're keeping the whole company afloat. But no, it's very popular. I know a lot of the nerds want that, but we'll see.
Mine's kind of niche, like Birdo's. Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, great call.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I played this when it first came out, which was a while
PS3,
ago.
wasn't it?
2011, 2012 seems familiar to me. I actually don't remember that much about the story, but I knew I like it. The game has been in the back of
Right.
my mind for ages. It just needs another one. It was another underrated game. We've spoken about a few underrated games in this segment, but I feel like this takes the cake. For what it did back in that time, it was monumental. And just the setting as well. Like, how could you go wrong? It was like GTA in, was it Korea or China? Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would love another one. Honestly, I'd just be happy with a remaster, but yeah, yeah. All these games that are like really well done are just left to die. Oh, well, the franchises, Square Enix would rather develop Foam Stars instead, so yeah. That's my last one. Oh, and I did have a couple shout outs, so actually I might do my shout out after you've done your last round because I don't want to spoil.
We'll do a round of shout outs. So I just want to piggyback off you because I replayed Sleeping Dogs only a few years back. Still holds up. The story's fantastic. Undercover cop infiltrating the triads and the whole like police and triad system with the different powers. The combat in this is phenomenal, by the way. You like pulling down roller shutters and beating the shit out of people. It's so much fun, and you can dive onto cars. So you can get out of your car, go on the roof, dive onto another car, and then just take over the car.
Oh yes, I remember that. That was so cool.
It's so fun, this game, and 100% if people haven't gone out and played all the DLCs, which are included in the definitive edition, they are so fun. There's one where it's just like Halloween and they don't give a shit. There's like ghosts and crap, and there's another one which is just like an ode to like classic kung fu films as well. They're all just stupid, wacky fun. But yeah, the Wei Shen original story is great. Really weird. I remember they were going to do it's like a MMO, I think. It was like called Triad Wars back in the day. And then everyone was like, we don't want that. Why would we want that? And then they just cancelled it. And then we basically been rumors of a TV show or a movie for a long, long while, but nothing concrete, which is a shame. Anyways, enough talking about your entry. I'll talk about mine quickly.
Yeah, I was like, yes. Who are we talking about?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, is this Megaman 13?
So I like this game called The Last of Us, right? And I thought after shut up. I thought you picked Mega Man.
I did.
I thought after the first game it never needed a sequel. I love the way it ended to go to black. I thought that was great. Am I happy the sequel exists? Yes, I have issues with the sequel, as I've openly said on the show before. But I think the way Part 2 ended, I think it leads itself perfectly to at least... I can't remember if I've said it off-air, my fan cast storyline, or if I've done it on the air or not, of what I want to happen in a Part 3.
Off-air.
I feel like we might have done it in the spoiler cast.
I'll do clip notes then. I can't remember, to be honest. I've done so many of these shows at this point.
No.
Yeah. So what I want Abby and Lev to basically be the main duo. How we left it and how the screen goes at the end when you finish the game, it looks like they make it to Santa Barbara. There's your start, right? What we do, we basically have Abby find the new Fireflies. They found someone else that can do the vaccine, so basically they need to hunt down Ellie. As that happens, they're basically about to die, and Ellie actually saves them. We finally have Ellie and Abby have this sit-down conversation over what happened. They make peace. Long story short, eventually it comes down to they've taken the blood work from Ellie because she doesn't actually have to die from it. They've found a way to work around it. Something happens. They're basically close to dying. Ellie sacrifices herself for Abby. And all she asks Abby is, did the vaccine work? Abby basically says, yes, it did. Abby passes away. She's happy that she got that sort of reason to die, that reason to live, you know what I mean, that the vaccines worked. We then cut back, and it just turns out that, no, the vaccine didn't work at all. But Ellie dies with the fact, thinking that it did, so she gets her happy ending. But knowing how Neil Druckmann likes a dark story twist, is that the vaccine itself never worked. And we leave it with that, and we sort of follow Abby's story to conclusion. I think that would be a satisfying ending for not only Ellie, I think it would bring round Abby's character arc nicely. Make peace between the characters a little bit, as well as maybe leaving people that were a little bit sour on how we left Ellie's story a little bit more complete. And we get that. Again, complete fan cast, and if they make a part 3, even though they released the complete collection, come on, Neil, I believe we will get a part 3 at some stage. That's probably what I think the secret game is. No offense, Ben,
you reckon?
with your Jak and Daxter. Yes, yeah, I think so. With how
you go.
Yeah, keep going. No, you go.
In the special feature they did on when they were making The Last of Us Part 2, at the end, Neil Druckmann said he already had ideas and he was like more into the planning stages of Part 3, as in like hinting.
He's also said a lot of things since then too.
I know, yeah. But I mean that was only last year, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think that's when they released the documentary type thing. It was like Grounded, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I feel like he said
like Grounded Part 2 or whatever.
Anyways, I think The Last of Us is just big enough now, especially with the TV show and everything, and the fact that Factions didn't come out. I think, why wouldn't you do a part 3 at this stage? One of the greatest games of all time with a sequel that is now mainstream appeal. You bring out a third one. I think it would go bananas, like Donkey Kong. So, yeah, that's my fan cast apart.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Honestly, what I see happening is Intergalactic Profit or whatever it's called is not gonna like be as successful, and then Sony will be like, "You need to make The Last of Us
Make
Part
us
3
another one
right now."
Yeah.
We need
Get
to make
back
our
in there
money
and do
back.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
But it'll have to appease to try to get people that were unpleased from the last one. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
they're
think-
gonna eat it up. They're gonna eat it up no matter what.
You reckon?
I think for a more
Yeah.
befitting
to get broader.
conclusion, it'll be something to do with Ellie looking after what the other d- the little boy, what's his name?
Lev?
Her, no, not Liv, the baby.
Her baby. Well, her
Well, not
child.
her baby,
Well,
but Dina's baby. Dina's boy.
JJ.
JJ, that's it. I reckon it'll be like, another time jump, and JJ will be like how old Ellie was in the first one. And, she'll take on that Joel kind of mentality, and something will have to happen, and she'll kind of understand where Joel came from to kill all the Fireflies to save her. And she'll finally kind of get that
maybe.
kind of peace and being like, oh, well, like, I forgive you, sort of. I feel like that would be a better conclusion.
No, I think to annoy absolutely everyone, you do what Jamie said, and then at the end fades to black, and then Ellie wakes up and is like, "Oh, time to go to school. It was all a dream." And then that'll just piss everyone off. I think it's something like that. And she goes to like Firefly High School, like there's like little hints about how.
And
Yeah,
you were there,
her
like,
teacher's
and you were there.
Yeah.
her teacher is Mr. Miller.
Yeah. Just go harder on
That
that.
is so dumb. Honestly, I'd be fine if
So
it
good.
just ended at part 2.
Yeah, me too.
Explore other stories in that universe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
world is beautiful enough for sure.
Mm.
All right, my last one, little bit like kind of on topic, with Battlefield 6 beta lately. I don't want Battlefield 6. I want Bad Company 3. Like,
Yes.
what? Like, why can't they do a Battlefield Bad Company 3 and have this multiplayer mode at the same time? Because, like, everyone's going nuts over this multiplayer mode. I get it, Battlefield, buildings go crash, woo. But but I remember just being in a tank in Battlefield Bad Company 2 and just like plowing down small buildings and exploding shit, and that was awesome. And you have a good story with a decent set of characters. Make it a legacy sequel, how they bring in another team and they have to go find this old, Bad Company team and something like that. I don't know. But story wise, I feel like that's something they could do really well these days. And like, I don't see why they can't have a multiplayer on top of that. Like, I wouldn't want a long one, 10-hour story is fine. That would make me buy it. Like, seeing this Battlefield beta does not make me want to buy it. I'm not a main multiplayer game kind of guy. Like, I enjoy it and I'll play it if it's there. But I'm not going like COD. What was it? Black Ops 4. It was purely multiplayer. That's the only Call of Duty I haven't played. Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's my one.
So
that needs
I
sequel.
do have a question. Like, I have heard good things about Bad Company. So, like, how does it differ from, like, say, the campaign of a normal Battlefield?
It has a story.
Yeah, I think that's the difference, isn't it?
Like characters that you actually care about.
I don't think I played a Battlefield campaign ever.
Battlefield's good.
I don't
Battlefield,
remember.
anyway.
I vaguely remember 3. I don't really remember 4. They're not very memorable. Like,
I was gonna
Battlefield
say,
Bad
like,
Company 2, it's like about a certain company, and I think I think they get stuck somewhere. It's
From
been
from
so
memory,
long.
Battlefield's about stories. They're singular items of like, this is Jeremy and he's gonna go through this thing, and then it goes from point A to the end. Next level. This is this guy and he's a pilot. So now he's the level
Oh.
for learning how to fly.
No,
And
that was
then it
only
tries to
that
wrap the
was
story, isn't it?
that was
That's
only the
Battlefield 1.
last two. That was only the last two. Battlefield 3 and
Was it?
yeah, Battlefield 3 and 4 had like a full like COD kind of storyline where you
Was
fought,
4
you
was
played the
trying to
same-
be like COD, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3 was a little bit too. Um
No, I agree.
but Bad Company, you had like it was a group of 4 guys.
It was
and they were, like, this
consistent.
company. Yeah, and you follow them.
Like Halo
and
Reach. It's like that.
Yeah, yeah. Or Gears of War kind of.
So in
Kinda
the
like
first one,
that
weren't they
sort of-
hunting down gold? Like they were like, oh, like screw what we're doing, we're gonna find
Yeah.
this like shitload of gold. or
Yeah, I
whatever?
think
Were they?
I think they were
Yeah, it
kind
was
of
like funny and
yeah, they weren't like
Funny.
they weren't goody two shoes. They were like F you
comedy.
to the
they were in it for themselves for
man.
the
Yeah.
gold and stuff. But they were
But
really
that's
appealing
what-
characters. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what made it good. And like yeah. Anyway, probably won't get that because everyone buys Battlefield loot boxes or whatever.
Well, I wonder
Yes.
how Battlefield 6's campaign's gonna shape up. 'Cause
I
they
don't know,
haven't said
all I've
anything
heard-
about it yet.
All I've heard that there is one. That's all I've heard.
Yeah, that's it. It exists.
2 hours.
Okay.
Linear.
Isn't the creator of COD now working as the lead for that? That's the big difference this time.
Don't know. No idea.
Is it?
I think the actual creator, like it's one of the Zampella dudes.
Oh, really?
He's
Maybe.
allegedly.
Don't quote the show. We have no idea.
Definitely don't quote Berto.
Definitely don't know. Mr. Megaman here, no way. My game is Deus Ex. There were 3 games that were released on multiple platforms. I'd say PC was the first one. That was ages ago. I'm trying to get the dates here. I think that was like 95 or 96 or something like that. And then there was a long wait for the sequels. They came out for PS3. Is that right, Jamie?
Yes.
You seem to know
Yes.
that franchise well. Second one was extremely well received. Third one was kind of received, except for the ending. And I think it didn't sell that well, which is one of the biggest disappointments. And I think they were working on it. Eidos was working on it, the team,
Eidos Montreal, yeah.
until they got bought out. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah. They shot themselves
Yeah.
in the foot with Mankind Divided, I think.
Yeah. Wasn't a really good, I guess, end to... If you don't know the game, basically the reason why I believe it should come back, although I'm pretty sure it will never come back, is that a lot of games incorporate what it has created, like a multi-leveled, perfectly well-made level where you can do whatever that you need to do, and the world is so receptive to your actions, and it integrates a lot of like RPG elements. So think like how every game now has an RPG, everything has a skill tree now, right? This was pretty much one of the pioneers of that, except within a very cyberpunk setting, which I think we don't see enough of. And obviously you mentioned that before with Remember Me, but man, the music was awesome in this.
So good.
The gameplay was fantastic. The level design was great. You could genuinely, you know how a lot of games say, oh, you can solve this many different ways. In this one, you really could solve it many different ways. Literally, that was the point. The first one was a bit rough around the edges, but for the time when I played it, there was nothing quite like it. Again, old school, harder to play as you get older. But so I think I would love to see someone else take the lead on this. I think that's where we're at with most of these sequels that we're saying. If the original team aren't going to do it, then I reckon pass the franchise on and maybe make some money that way. But yeah, Deus Ex, I've got 2 steelbooks for it too, so I should have bought them for me just to say it, but I strongly recommend that it needs to make a bit of a comeback if it can. If not, then that's pretty sad, because I think a lot of games need to follow that blueprint.
So why do you think it can't come back? Like I haven't played any of them. was the ending like really bad or something?
It was almost it didn't fit into what it was trying to sell with regards to being choose your own adventure in a way. Yeah, like
Okay.
Like the
was
ending of Mass
almost-
Effect 3 from memory, where it was like, here's your
Yeah.
different options, whereas everything else
problem
was very
was-
open-ended.
Gotcha.
the problem was back then, like the way that you know how when people attack a game, it almost becomes a little bit unwarranted. So kind of like you know how you were mentioning Order being so short, and everyone's like, you have to hate it because it's so short. It's like, oh, you have to hate this game because of the way that it's ended. It's like, yeah, it ended poorly, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of negative backlash to it.
I will say, from memory, because I remember reporting on this back in the day, Square, who I believe published it, I could be wrong there, but
They did.
I think they had this whole pre-order fiasco, which really put a sour taste in everyone's mouth. They were like,
What was
if
it
you
again?
pre-order, so if you pre-order a certain amount, they would give people that pre-ordered more DLC. So if we reach this much, then you get like an expansion. If you reach this much
What?
pre-orders, you get additional stuff. And everyone was just like, you're locking pre-order stuff behind the numbers of people that pre-ordered. Definitely search it up because I'm doing a horrible job to explain it. But it was a big like turning point for people sort of getting a little bit upset with the franchise before it came out because they were all like, you're really trying to inflate pre-order numbers and locking behind content until more people actually looked into it.
That's insane.
Really,
I haven't heard of it.
it soured people a lot before the game even released. So, like Alberto's saying about once people like get their pitchforks out, it's hard to put them back. So, I think Mankind Divide was a really great game. I think Human Revolution was one of my favorites on the PS3 era. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, it's a good shout. It's a shame. I just don't think that series will ever come back either. I just don't think it has enough people asking for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
There's not enough
if
people
it was
wanting
announced tomorrow, no one would move.
Except Berto and I.
Yeah,
except for me and the same 3 other people. So
Yeah.
I mean, 2 selective
Megaman
niche
fan.
crowds here. The Mega Man fans, yeah. Turn the shirt inside out. Deus Ex fan.
All right. Well, I have some honorable mentions. Speaking of Eidos Montreal, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I'd like to see another game in that franchise. And honestly, like I know I haven't said that series that I always talk about, but that's okay. I think JRPGs in general do a good job in wrapping up the story. I wouldn't want sequels like to be forced just because the first game was good. And yeah, JRPGs usually wrap up in a way where you can't really advance with like what made that game good to begin with. Like characters die or the world is so different compared to the start of your journey. It's just JRPGs I just love more. I just love JRPGs and want more JRPGs. But not sequels because it just would do disservice to the original. Like honestly, Final Fantasy X-2 no comment.
Not it.
Like it's fine.
They missed their
like,
opportunity, though.
They did. I think they went about it the wrong way. But
yeah, I agree.
and I haven't played the sequels for 13 either, but isn't there is there 2 or 3 sequels?
There's 3 and
There is-
Jamie played them.
There's
I
13
played
2
2 and
and
3,
Lightning
yes.
Returns.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so strange. That's your
It is,
introduction to
yes.
Final Fantasy.
But it's just funny out of every Final Fantasy, probably one of the worst received
It gets a trilogy.
games gets a trilogy. Yeah. They were like, maybe we can fix this with a new game. And then no. I think they were just
Make it
really in
again.
love with Lightning. They just loved Lightning as a character and just wanted to keep
She
using
returns
it.
in the third one, I believe. Yeah.
Whatever. But anyway, she, from my knowledge, is the only female main protagonist from a Final Fantasy game.
Nah,
Maybe that's
6.
why they. Oh, 6. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. All
6
right.
has many female ones, but the main one is
But like the.
Terra.
Oh yes, Terra. Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's
Terra.
2. So.
She's awesome.
Mm. But yeah,
Any
mainly
other
shout out
honorable
Guardians
mentions
of
for
the
you?
Galaxy. Oh, that's it. That's it.
Oh, I've got 3 just quickly. Ori.
Oh, here
I'd
we
love
go.
another Ori game. Once you mentioned Ori, Berto, I was like, yes, I
Yeah.
would love another one of those. But Moon Studios is off doing something else, and I know they've had a lot of issues with Xbox and behind the scenes, a lot of
What are
weird
they
stuff going
doing
on.
now? Something different, isn't it?
They are doing something different. I want to say it had like pirate aspects, but I could be wrong. But it doesn't look anything like Ori, that's for sure. But those 2 games, phenomenal. If you haven't played them, go play them. Capcom will never do it because they're all doing Resident Evil forever. But I would like
And
another
that's
Devil May
okay.
Cry. Me and 3 other people would like another Devil May Cry.
Good
DMC
game.
5 was phenomenal. I love that entire series, so yeah, I would love another one. Or at least remake 3 because that game still holds up and it's fantastic. And Persona. I would like another Persona game. I know they've made, I think, 72 Persona 5 spin-offs at this point.
Yeah.
But if they
have.
made a Persona 6,
have.
that would be great. Maybe for the PS6. Who knows?
I reckon they'll
all
announce it
mine.
next week at Gamescom.
They'll release another spin-off. It'll be another dancing game. Which are
Yeah.
fun.
Do you
They
have
are
any,
fun,
Ben?
by the way.
I have 2 shout-outs. I think no one will be surprised. Dead Space 4, please. I've been waiting over 10 years.
I forget how
from
3 ended.
the moon became the I forgot what it's called. The moon became alive and started to head towards Earth and was going to eat
Of
Earth.
course it did. How
So
could I
it
forget?
turned into Majora's Mask.
I was about to say, that's Majora's Mask.
That
What are you
is the
talking about?
sequel. That is
The whole I mean they kind of ruined it with 3. Like 1 and 2 are just amazing, and then 3 they're like, well, actually all these monoliths are from this moon planet which is actually an alien in itself, and it like eats other planets.
Jeez, I don't remember
Anyway.
anything from 3. I just remember that was super action focused, and I played co-op with a mate who had a TV next to me, and you could see like one person was like hallucinating shit. That was
Yeah.
probably the
It was
coolest
all
aspect of
co-op
it.
based, wasn't it? That was
Yeah,
the
it was
reason
all
why it sold
action
that way.
focused. Yeah,
It was actually you could play single player. I played single player. You don't have to play
Okay.
co-op. But yeah, they ruined it. And also Days Gone. I'm still waiting for that conclusion as well. I want to see that what happens next
Maybe.
there, but
Maybe. They
Yeah,
did do a
no.
remake.
I know, right? It's like, oh, should we do a sequel or a remake? Nah, let's do a remake.
It didn't get greenlit, right? They had the idea. Is that right?
They,
From what I've read.
They were
Pitched
not
it that way.
impressed. Ben Studio was not impressed with the or Sony was not impressed with the sales from
That's right.
Days Gone, but it still sold like
it sold well.
sold really well. Like when you say not impressed, they probably had like expectations like up
20
here,
million.
and
Yeah.
like it like to meet profit. It met profit, but it didn't get like as much as they wanted. I don't know. So maybe I don't know what the numbers were for the remake, how successful that was. So maybe that might, if that was successful enough, people to show interest, they might make a sequel. But yeah, I love that game. Such a good zombie game. Like just the hordes chasing you and running away. So hectic. Amazing. They're my 2.
Roberto, any honorable mentions?
Just one, real quickly. Old school Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but a sequel to that. So if you make a game that basically created a genre and you don't really have a direct sequel to that, it's pretty absurd. So yeah, again, bring it to the forefront, use your magic to make it a little bit more modern, and yeah, you'll make a lot of money if they made it really, really great. 2D games in particular, like Prince of Persia last year did so well. Although they shut the studio down, I think, afterwards. But
They did.
Yeah.
Such a weird industry, man.
It is.
Yes.
It'll sell. It'll sell. But yeah, that's all. Great game. Needs to come back. Unfortunately, all the sequels were tied to the GBA.
Well, there we have it. That's all sequels that we'd like to come back. What I found interesting is that no one mentioned Bioshock. So that ties in nicely
Not
to what
even
we're going
you.
to talk about next.
Yeah.
No, I didn't for that reason, because I was hoping there'd be a segue at the end of it all. So we're going to talk about the state of Bioshock 4 and what could and if and maybe will be one day. Bloomberg have reported that Bioshock 4 is currently undergoing a development overhaul. It recently failed a review by 2K Games executives, with the studio allegedly working to overhaul the story over the coming months. Employees were told in a recent all hands on that the company needs to become more agile and efficient. I believe employees are also worried about their jobs now when they hear that. As someone who came from an employer that was agile and efficient and then ended up losing my own position, you get worried when you hear those words. Bloomberg's report revealed that also a Bioshock 1 remake was in development, but that was also cancelled earlier this year.
Oof.
Then we have last week. IGN reported that in the latest Take-Two 2025 quarterly earnings, that's the parent company of 2K for those playing at home, CEO Strauss Zelnick was asked about Bioshock 4 and if it was in danger of being cancelled. He replied with, "It's going to come out. That I can say hand on my heart without a question." Now, I won't go over, he said a lot of stuff, but there's just one thing I just wanted to pull out where he was asked about lengthy game development. And he basically said, "I think some of our competitors have realized maybe a little too late in the day that consumers are not okay with okay. Good is the new bad, great is the new great, and our goal here is to make everything exceptional." So, with that being said, now the Bioshock remake, not the remake, the additional follow-up was basically announced back in 2019, and we've really not heard anything. I think I've been on the show a few times going, oh, they'll talk about Bioshock at some point, they'll talk about Bioshock at some point.
You have said that. Gamescom next week.
I was like, it's happening. So obviously there's a lot of stuff going on. I think the creative head of the team as well has also been moved on, and they're onto something else. So I believe, Brad, you said before the podcast you haven't played any of the Bioshock, so this is mostly going out to Ben and Berto. Thoughts? Ben, I'll start with you. Do you think that we'll end up getting a Bioshock 4 as he has promised, or what do you think?
Look, because we know how reliable gaming CEOs can be, in saying that, I'm not sure I would bet any money on it. Although I don't doubt that they want to make a good game. I'd really like to know what fails an internal test by executives. Like, you know, are they
Especially
looking
narratively.
Yeah, are they looking at it narratively wise, or are they looking at it like, you know, how can we make more money out of this?
Dollar bills wise, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, well, we can't really do much until that we get something. And the way Bioshock is at the moment, if there wasn't a sequel released, I wouldn't be totally upset. Like the 3 games that are out, I haven't played 2, but 1 and 3 are exceptional. So I would rather nothing than something tarnish their legacy. So, you know, we'll see. And I'm sure they'll try. And hopefully, you know, hopefully he is right and they'll make an exceptional Bioshock 4. And that would be amazing. I just don't understand why they would cancel a Bioshock 1 remake. Like,
I feel
to
like
me,
that
that
would be popular.
seems... Yeah. I would
Yeah.
play that. I would buy that. So...
Or just like a remaster, like not a full remake, just remaster it for like current gen to like, I don't know, give yourself more funding for
Yeah.
for
Seems to be the way now. They keep the lights on with a remaster or a remake or something along those lines.
And like we can... Sorry.
Here you go.
We complain about people doing it, but then we all buy them, or we all play them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's so many remakes. Ugh, another remake, but we buy them, we play them. So
I'm all for
you
it.
know they're
it.
gonna
That's
keep
a whole
they're
other
gonna keep
topic,
doing
though.
it.
Yeah, that is a different topic.
Yeah, hang on, just
go
let me
forever.
put that can of worms back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, because I've been umming and ahhing about this whole decision. It was straight. I remember we spoke about the Bioshock TV show that was in development, and then they were like
Yep.
talking about how they didn't want it to be anything like Bioshock. Like they were like not story based and everything like this. It was a very weird quote. I'm like, what are you even doing? I wonder how much cachet the Bioshock name actually has these days, just because it has been absent for so long. Like we got Infinite back on PS3. I remember buying it at launch day
Yep.
and absolutely binging the shit out of that. So I've been going back and forth about my thoughts on it. This is one of those series where it's very close to my own heart. I literally bought the Big Daddy Pop the other day to join my Songbird little duo up on my shelf. I love the original Bioshock and Infinite, and all the DLC that came out for Infinite is exceptional. If anyone hasn't played
Isn't it?
those, definitely.
Yep.
So good, man. So good.
The last one in particular.
Go in fresh if you can, if you haven't played the
Yeah.
DLCs, and just absolutely enjoy it. And Bioshock 2, I think it is the weakest one out of the three, but I still really liked it. I still really enjoyed it. So I'd love another one. If that comes out, I would play it. But it's one of those where I don't know where you would even take the series. Because whilst nostalgia-based, if they did the whole, oh, look, there's water bubbles and everything, and they pan on the Rapture, I probably would lose my shit, like the fanboy that I am. But then when you think about it, it's like we've gone back to Rapture so many other times. What other stories are there? Even, like, do you do the fall of Rapture, which I think was covered in a novel at some point? I don't know what else you do there that would be fresh enough and doesn't almost take away from the ending of Infinite, because it's, there's always a girl, there's always a lighthouse, you take all that, it's just like,
That's right.
do we need another one? So I'm definitely mixed with it. When it comes to 2K, not to just paint them with a big stroke, but a lot of the sporting games that they do, they have a certain expectation of the amount of ROI that they want, the return on investment. It's like EA with the FIFA games that they come out and everything like that. They've got their FIFA Ultimate Teams, and I know 2K, the NBA games are literally, I think at one point, it was only maybe 1 or 2 years ago, they literally had slot machines in there as you were trying to get cosmetics. So they like the recurring spending, and I don't know how you do that in a Bioshock game. Am I wrong that Bioshock 2 had multiplayer at one point?
It did.
Yeah, it was during that time where even like Dead Space 2, I think, had like multiplayer. Everything needed multiplayer around that time. But yeah, I don't know how I feel. I'd like to see it come back, but I just don't know if it will ever do the numbers that 2K are expecting. Especially when the fact I don't think a lot of people are really clamoring for it at this stage. But I'm very curious to hear what you think.
I disagree with you both. It shouldn't come back. It's done. It's complete. And you mentioned that quote you just said. There's always a girl, there's always a lighthouse, and there's always a man, or something like that, right? So you can come up with an infinite amount of stories, and that's a pun intended, because that's the way that the game gets to, the name of the game comes from. But it's like we were just talking about sequels that, does it really need it? No. I mean, I completely forget what your question was originally with regards to will it come out?
Me too.
No, it won't come out. I don't think it should come out. I think it'll tarnish. If you're taking this long, how long has it been? 6 years? You said 2019? And you can't even get the story
they've
right?
Scrapped it. They've scrapped it and started it again. So.
Yeah, so it's not a good sign. Like, I look at games similar who have gone through that cycle, and I think I mentioned it in the last podcast, Metroid Prime 4, like rebooted again. It's looking a little bit worse for wear. Not saying that it looks bad, but there's only so many times you can keep rebooting a product before it loses its identity or it becomes something a little bit more different than what it intended to be. And I think Bioshock, it's not the same team. And again, with Deus Ex, how I mentioned it before, it'll never come back because they're just not there anymore. It doesn't have the same heart. It doesn't have the same soul. We'll get that from that other game they're making, the creator, that Judas one.
Yeah.
Judas, yeah. Ken Levine, right? Is that his?
Yep.
studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's going to be
to
the
answer your
next
question,
best
will it come
Bioshock
back?
game.
No.
Well, I
Yeah,
haven't
and
heard.
Bioshock is it's a shock thing. Like it's that's the
Bioshock.
sequel, right? So System Shock, Bioshock. Like that's just the way that it's always been. It's a first person narrative that always has some sort of twist.
Maybe they can do like Electroshock as a spiritual sequel.
Yeah,
In case listening to this, all the executives going, "That's a good."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they
I find
actually
it
get
worrying.
ideas from gaming podcasts.
Do they?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. It'll fade to
I-
black, and they'll wake up one day. It's like it was all a dream. Oh, Bioshock school.
And they have like a snow globe, and it's like Rapture inside of it.
There's always a lighthouse.
See, I find it a worrying sign that your executives are in there telling you how the story should go. As someone has been in offices over the years, most of the executives are not on the day-to-day. They're not in the groundwork. They don't specialize in storytelling for the most part. You know what I mean? They're off doing their business type things in the business factory. I don't know if they should be there telling you how the story should be playing out. It's very strange to me. So we'll see how it all plays out in the end. But yeah, it's not looking good for Bioshock or the TV show, which I'm certainly not excited for after some of the quotes that came out about what they're planning to do with that one. So let's hopefully never do spoiler casts on that. We are now going to move over to the NextPlay Game Corner. For those that don't know, each week the winner of the previous week will quiz the other panelists on games with like trivia, name the game. And last week it was a shock. Birdo won, so he's hosting this one. So what do you have for us?
Just trivia, so like genuine trivia. So I'll say a question. There'll be 4 options. You choose one. First person to say their name gets the first choice, and then we'll go from there.
First to 3, is it?
I have many just in case, but yeah, first to 3, I suppose. This one's going to be very much themed. It'll be Final Fantasy themed. If it gets a little bit too difficult for everyone, I have some other ones that are more general. So, gaming related.
I'm just going to mute myself because Brad's just going to win.
These are pretty, like...
Odd.
Ridiculous. Yeah, some of them you will need
Well,
to
if I can't get them, they're not going to get them.
Ben, you've played Final Fantasy mostly or no?
I've played
Here and
3
there.
of them.
Lightning Returns?
No.
No. Okay. Just me. All right, let's go. But game's a good
Should
game.
we start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Remember, say your name first. What was the first Final Fantasy game to feature voice acting in the main series?
Brad.
A.
Oh, sorry.
No.
You
You
gotta
go
go
first.
now.
You want me to?
Yeah, it's 10.
Correct. Final Fantasy 10.
I'm going to go get a drink and come
I
back.
thought you said these were hard.
Jamie's
are
like,
hard.
and that's the end of this week's episode.
But see how fast he was. It was so quick. It's just like me with Final Fantasy 15. And we're not working together. I just realized that there was a direct correlation of how quick we both answered our questions with Final Fantasy. Just so you guys know. Let me get the second one. Sorry. Which recurring Final Fantasy creature is known for casting bad breath? Is it A. Ton? Yes.
Marlboro.
Yep. You two
I
are
don't even
not
need
looking so
to.
good right
I was
now.
going to say Balrog.
Wait, is
Are you
this
guys-
just a questionnaire for Brad? Or
No, I don't
Yeah.
need to, but it's the truth.
Testing my knowledge.
Just mute yourself. Fine. Let him go.
What is the only Final Fantasy title in the main series where Sid is a villain?
Jamie. Lightning Returns.
No.
I was going to say, is that real?
Imagine if it was.
No. Main title. Okay, so A,
It's a game I've
Final
not
Fantasy
played.
2. B, Final Fantasy 4. C, Final Fantasy 15. Or D, Final Fantasy 12. Got
Ben.
4 options. Yes.
Well, it's,
I'm just gonna
it's,
take a guess. I think it's 4.
No.
it's not 15. Definitely
Yeah,
not
I know it's
15.
not 15. I feel like if it was 12, you'd know. So
Actually, I can't
What's
remember
left?
Sid in 12.
All right, Brad, make your guess so I can quickly jump in. And
No, you
have another
guess. You guess, because I don't know.
one. All right, what's left? Birdo. What's left?
2,
Tell me one option.
2, 4. So you got 2, 4, 15, and 12. Okay.
What did Ben pick?
So it's 2 or 12.
Oh,
4.
well, we'll go 2.
No. 50-50 chance. It's so salty. You really hate this game.
Let's
eh?
go to the next question because
Next question.
All right,
Yeah.
Birdo gets a point for that one. He stumped
No,
everybody.
I don't want a point.
Yeah, no,
Okay, yeah,
Birdo
that's
gets
fine.
a point. Yeah.
No, he doesn't want it.
You-
Take it away.
I'll
Oh,
take
because
it.
you guys are struggling. So I'll make it easier then. I told you it would be Final Fantasy related. Come on, you got to learn everything.
I should have known it was 12.
What was the first Final Fantasy game to feature fully 3D graphics? A. Final Fantasy
Ben.
6. Yes,
No, it was 7.
it was 7. Yep. In Final Fantasy 9, Jamie,
Yes.
really sorry about this. In Final Fantasy 9.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm not. What species is Vivi? A.
Jamie,
Amumba. Yep.
vampire.
No. It's not a vampire. B. Black mage.
Brad.
C. Yep.
Black
He
Mage.
just played it.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. First one of 3. Black mage, Vivi. Thanks for playing, guys. I know you guys are really unhappy with this, but still.
No, honestly, next time just do a Final Fantasy X questionnaire.
I will be more specific.
Yeah.
I feel like
Last
I've been
time, Ben.
stitched up.
You're not being stitched up. It just happened to
Berta
fall
has
that
said
way.
previously he will try and sabotage me for getting points. I feel like that's occurred. We're going to do
I'm
a
sure-
scoreboard recap. We're doing a scoreboard recap. And we're moving on from this charade. It's a 3-way tie at the top now, so I'm
It is.
technically going by this list. I'm still at the top. Berto is then below me, and then Brad, and we're all sitting on 18. Guest, got
good.
1 point there, didn't he? So,
Yes,
Yeah, I
you
got
Did.
one.
yeah, there we go. So guest is on 5. Thank you
I'm
very
hosting
much. Ben.
next week, though.
Yeah, can't be Final Fantasy themed. That's a rule.
Do
Is that the new rule?
That's the rule. It's in. I can add it to the show notes now. It's in there. Alrighty, now that that's all done, we're actually going to be wrapping up the show now. We've had some laughs, we've talked about some great games, and we all got screwed at the end. Thank you very much for listening. You can check out
You're
everything
so salty.
over at No, I'm not. You can check out everything that we are talking about on next-play.com.au, including all our reviews and news as it all comes out. And you can also head over to Colbert. Is it .com.au or
Just .com.
just .com? Man, you secured that one. Nice. That's a good
Yeah.
one to get. Just the .com.
Qualbet's not really like a common name.
Yeah, I think I've only met
No.
like 7 Corberts in my life, but you can go
7.
check out Ben's review of Wu Chang. And until then, thank you very much for listening. And we will see and talk to you in the next episode.
bye.